again, and today Jivesh and I have found something new to disagree about. The topic of today's conversation is the famous Arsenal Invincibles of 2003 and 2004. As good as they were the Arsenal Invincibles overrated? True or false? Well, Jivesh, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to pick the unpopular side of the fence.
Yeah.
I think the Arsenal Invincibles were slightly overrated.
Okay. Why would you make? So let's take this bit by bit. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a widely regarded claim that the Arsenal side was the greatest Premier League side of all
Yeah.
time. Why would you say that they're not? What makes you say that?
So you know how conversations go by, they were the greatest or they were one of the greatest.
Okay.
The Arsenal Invincibles are widely regarded by fans, pundits, a lot of people in and around the game famously regard them as the greatest Premier League side of all time.
Yeah.
And if we're using that as the yardstick, I think they're slightly overrated in that sense because I can name a few sides that I think were better than them.
Okay.
Why do I think that? Well, they obviously famously went unbeaten, had a great season, recording 90 points, 26 wins, 12 draws. But 90 points, that's where I'm a little bit stuck.
Okay.
Because if we're going by that metric, I can name about 3 Chelsea sides, 2 Man City sides, 2 Liverpool sides, that's a total of 7 sides who had a higher points tally than Arsenal.
Okay.
So if we're looking at it historically, in about 6 of the seasons, they wouldn't even have won the league.
Okay.
And
Well, let's look at it like this. Before the Arsenal Invincible side, there was only one side that had touched the 90-point mark, which was the 99 treble winning United side, which is also regarded as one of the best Premier League sides of all time.
Yeah, of course.
And before Arsenal and before that United team, nobody had touched the 90 points. After that, there were the Chelsea sides and the Liverpool sides. One of the Liverpool sides not even winning the title when hitting those 97 points, I think. So the thing is, when it goes by the point system, down the line there will always be teams that beat that point system. Okay, I mean even the 100 points that City made is a gargantuan task to would have achieved. But still, I would say down the years, 10 years, 15 years maybe down the line, somebody is bound to break that. And as the game progresses, that is bound to happen.
Well, I recognize your point that I'm quite aware that the sides that I mentioned, Man City and Liverpool, took about a good 15 years to reach that level.
Yeah.
The 90 odd points. And I'm quite aware that as the years pass by, as time passes by, the game will evolve to a newer and a higher standard. But even if we're looking at it in that era itself, for me, the Arsenal side wasn't as dominant as I would have liked the greatest side of all time to be.
Why would you say they weren't that dominant? Let's say for that particular year, or are you trying to say otherwise around those years?
A couple of reasons to that. The first thing I feel is they had a great Premier League season where they went unbeaten. But if we look at the rest of the season for that Arsenal side, it began with the Community Shield. They lost that on penalties. Well, I'm willing to give you the Community Shield is hardly that important.
Yeah.
We're looking at other domestic competitions. We're looking at the League Cup. Arsenal lost to a Middlesbrough side in the semi-final. They played a full-strength team, but they lost to a Middlesbrough side of both legs in the semi-final.
Yeah.
They lost in the FA Cup to Man United, again in a semi-final. In the Champions League that season, again, they lost to an English team, the Chelsea team, and on aggregate too. None of that away goals bullshit.
Okay.
So, what I feel is, they dominated the league. They won the league, which was a great achievement. But for the reason I feel, for example, I named a few sides that I can think of were better than that Arsenal side.
Yeah.
Well, it's never enough to just say that the Arsenal side wasn't good. Of course, they were a great side. But what I point to is the first Chelsea side of Jose Mourinho. They won 2 league titles on the bounce.
Yeah.
They were always there or thereabouts in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Manchester United, the 3 years that they consecutively won the league, with Cristiano Ronaldo at the peak of his past, they had a Champions League win in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And to contemporary times, if we come here, Man City, I mean, of course, reaching 100 points, never quite made it in European football, but by far the most dominant side in the league. Liverpool, you add a Champions League to the mix. So, and for me, Arsenal had probably one of the best seasons you're ever going to have. that unbeaten tag will always be there.
Yeah.
But for me, they just didn't kill the competition as much as some of the other sides I feel have.
So let's say talking about the Invincible side. You said we lost to Middlesbrough in the League Cup. Middlesbrough went on to win the competition in the end. We lost to the best side in that competition. We lost to Manchester United in the FA Cup. Manchester United ended up winning that competition. The best side in that competition. So we lost to the best side in that particular competition. Champions League, sure, I agree, Chelsea were the better team in those matches. So they won on aggregate. And of course, after you have gone, let's say, 20-25 matches unbeaten, the goal would have kind of moved to winning the title, without losing a single game. The focus probably was not that in the beginning. The focus was probably just to win the title. And then that turns into, winning the title unbeaten. If you remember the 0-1-0-2 side that won the Premier League, did not lose a single away game in the entire season. So it was kind of building up from the 0-1-0-2 season to kind of coming up to this part. And even though you say we lost to Chelsea in the Champions League, Chelsea finished second in that league that year, the Premier League. So I would say we lost to the best teams at that point in time.
But I mean, of course, yeah. You're saying these were the best teams in those competitions. I hardly see that as a differentiator because they were obviously there in the Premier League too.
Well, the claim to fame is not that we went all the matches played in that season unbeaten. We went the entire Premier League season unbeaten. That's the claim to fame. And when you talk about the Chelsea side, the first Chelsea side that won, of course, brilliant team, let in only 15 goals the entire season.
Yeah.
Jose, a defending masterclass by him.
Yeah.
And I really like that team, to be honest. But, having lost that one game, especially to that Anelka goal,
Yeah.
which as an Arsenal fan, I'm quite happy to see. But, just almost being invincible and being invincible rolls off the tongues differently.
Well, that's what I was going to come to next because for me, like the greatest Premier League side of all time didn't defend their throne the next season. They had exactly the same squad, exactly the same resources, but in that very next season, I mean, we're talking about the 90-point barrier being broken 15 years down the line. Well, the Chelsea side did it 2 years in a row. 2 years on back-to-back on the bounce, exactly after that Arsenal side did it.
Yeah.
The 95-point record, 91 the next season. So for me, if you're the greatest Premier League side of all time, winning one league title in a span of 3-4 years doesn't quite suffice it for me. And when we're talking of the next season, well, that's just how these things are a little bit different. That Chelsea side, the first side, they lost that one match and Nicholas Anelka penalty. They just happened to convert it.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about, and this is the factor that a little bit of luck plays into these things. Well, if you remember the Invincible season, of course you would. One of the most memorable games of that season.
Yeah.
5th or the 6th game into that season. Arsenal playing United away from home at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
That 90th minute penalty that Ruud van Nistelrooy had.
Yeah.
If he just converts that,
Yeah.
there's no talk of invincibility ever. So if that penalty is converted, are we still going to talk about? And that's just a factor of a few inches, right?
Yeah.
So that penalty is converted. Arsenal doesn't have that record. Do we still talk about them 15 years later? I don't know.
Well, greatness is a game of inches, when you look at it. I mean, all the other sides that you've spoken of right now, Manchester City, Chelsea, they've all been brilliant sides, probably one of the best in the world at that point in time. But then it's those inches that make the difference, and luck obviously plays a part. You can't go 38 games unbeaten without having some luck on your side. That's definitely part of it.
Well, you sure had your fair share of it.
Well, of course, I mean, we had our bad luck also down the years as an Arsenal fan when things did not go our way. But let's come back to the point when you were talking about the same resources and the same, not winning titles back to back. I mean, Wenger came in. Wenger changed how the game was played in the English football. His tactics, his training, the things that he came up with, which was not very common in the English game at that point in time. And he did win in 01-02, then he won in 03-04. So that's, 2 titles in a year. But the reason why Arsenal was not able to sustain after that, the biggest reason was they were getting a new stadium. And when you talk about that Chelsea side having similar resources, Roman Abramovich had just bought the club. There were a ton of resources available to Chelsea. Whereas when you look at the Arsenal side, the 3 years after the 03-04 season, the entire team was dismantled. You know, Vieira had gone, Henry had gone, Bergkamp had gone, the Ashley Cole had gone. When you think about the biggest, most prominent players of that side, they had all left the club, and it all boils down to not having enough resources. And when you look at a Liverpool side right now, which after winning the title after such a dominating performance in the entire season, they've still strengthened it with somebody like a Diego Jota or a Thiago Alcantara to give it more depth. Now think of this side losing the likes of Van Dijk and Mane and players like them in the next 3 years. So that makes a big difference when it comes to creating a dynasty or just having one great season.
I buy your point. I mean, obviously that's the direction that the club chose, which they felt was right at the time, and of course, like that's just a game of ifs and buts.
Yeah.
But for me, that side was still intact the very next season, and they didn't even come close to defending that title. And I mean, I would just like to go back to, and I mean, I completely buy your point. Like luck, a bit of luck doesn't change the legacy of sides. We're just talking about a here and there situation. But I mean, for me, I remember that Portsmouth game that was played at Highbury.
Yeah.
Portsmouth were completely dominating Arsenal.
Yeah.
And Robert Perez won that penalty, which was a very shameful dive, to be honest. Like, if you're talking about it in the era of VAR, that never stands.
Yeah.
Arsenal equalized from that penalty, and that game went on to be a draw.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to think of these things unless you take a microscopic look at these things. And that doesn't change Arsenal's legacy. Of course, they were still one of the greatest sides of the Premier League era.
I mean, the thing is that the era of VAR is a totally different game. The game's changed in the last 10 years, 15 years. It's a different game with VAR coming in and looking at everything with a microscope. I mean, there are numerous goals that have come from the offside position in the last 10 years before the VAR. And right now, when you think about them, you can probably think of 10 decisions that went against your club that probably were wrong decisions. And I mean, that's how the game was back then, and that's how it was for everyone, not just for Arsenal. So pinpointing certain situations, there are certain penalties that would have gone in Chelsea's favour or in United's favour. I mean, it's just different game now.
Well, I mean, I tend to think they were a bit overrated. Could probably name a few sides that were better. Jackie obviously thinks differently, but hey, that's just our opinion, man.
I mean, none of them have a golden trophy, so there's only one team in the history of the Premier League. Is it golden though?
Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments what you feel.